Alright, again, I've got All Pro Football here. I want to talk about some of the player interactions, logic, and gameplay that to me sets the standard in terms of simulation football. And in this respect, it's something that Madden hasn't even came close to entering in terms of gameplay, despite having the market to themselves for the past 5 or 6 years. First thing we want to do, take a look at the line interaction. I want you guys to notice that because this is the last play of the game, I've dropped all my defensive players back, which leaves me with a 3-man rush. You can see my defensive tackle and Dwight Freeney both get double teamed, so we'll focus on the interaction of Robert Mathis, the only player who's being singled. You can see they jostle with each other a little bit, and once Mathis is able to perform a swim move, he gets by. And you see that he lets up there. That's because the ball's already been thrown. Something else I want to bring up that's pretty important to note is you've got 2 halfbacks back here who are blocking. They have no one to block. The instant Ahmad Bradshaw runs off, I know that it coincides with the ball being thrown, but the instant he breaks out of the backfield to run a route is the same time Madison Hedgecock goes to chip Mathis, which is the exact right thing to do. You keep 2 guys back to block in this situation. If there's no immediate threat, one can go out and run his route, and the other can go work on the closest player to the quarterback, which of course would be Robert Mathis. It would be very illogical for both of them to go run around at the same time and leave Mathis with an open shot at the quarterback. It would also be just as illogical for the halfback or for the fullback rather to go and engage with players that are already double teamed. Now, as far as the ball being thrown, I want you guys to notice procedural awareness is painfully evident again, as it was in the last video. You can see here's Melvin Bullitt reacting to the ball as it goes over his head. And this is what I want to see when there's a deep ball being thrown to a receiver. Every player on the field, from the giant receiver the ball is intended to, from my defensive back, to my linebacker, to my cornerback, to the safety on the other side of the field, every player is looking at the ball. The other thing I do want to point out is this linebacker here that appears like he might not be looking at the ball, number 52. He just turned around because he was looking at the ball, and there you can see he turns around and locates it. Now, the one thing else I want to see when there's a deep pass that I have 4 players trying to defend, 5 if you include the safety, is someone impede the progress of the wide receiver and the ball get tipped. I don't want to see this receiver jump up completely unimpeded and grab a pass. So here you can see number 23 comes in, takes the receiver's position away, gives the inside to himself and the rest of the Colts team. Now, because he's a defensive back, he probably doesn't have the best hands. You see he tips the ball up. There's number 28. He's going to attempt to grab it. And then finally, number 25 on the 3rd tip is able to grab the ball and start running with it. Now, I did a video not too long ago where I showed the Kansas City Chiefs' Sean Ryan in a very similar situation, except he's a tight end on the offensive side of the field. He could not plant his feet in a similar range of field to catch a touchdown. In this game, it's not dictated by animations nearly as much as Madden. My defensive back is able to turn the corner, and here you can see my defensive players immediately come up and find somebody to block, whether it's a good block or not. There you see Melvin Bullitt gets overpowered by an offensive lineman rather quickly, but all my other players are able to go ahead, and once the momentum is taken away from the player, or if they're of equal size or strength, is able to come in and almost effectively block the player. There you see players have to react with each other, jump over each other. Again, something I want to see in terms of football when we talk about replicating and being simulation football. Another great example of procedural awareness, again, online gameplay with All Pro Football 2k8. Not exactly what you see in Madden, but definitely what you'd expect to see in the NFL on Sundays.